Welcome back to another episode of the Suited to Serve podcast. I'm super excited for my guest for today. I got the founder, the owner of We Print Tees. I got the motivator. I got the author. I got the director. I got the Mr. Controversy himself, Kurin Keys. Welcome, my guy.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, being a part of this. I appreciate you, man.
Listen, it's a blessing to be here.
Yeah, man. So I normally start people off with their top 5 artists that they like, as an icebreaker to kind of get the flow going. But you bring such a persona and such a knowledge for your craft and what you do. I want you to give me your top 5 books that every entrepreneur should have.
10X Rules, and I'm an audiobook guy. And people say reading is fundamental. It absolutely is. But the information needs to travel, and reading was the only vehicle for information back in the day. Now, when you have an audiobook, you can't drive and read, you can't run and read, you can't be at work and read.
Yeah.
But if you got a 7-hour audiobook, you start it before you leave the house, in the car, you got it in your ear while you're at work.
Yep.
By the end of the day, you've gone through it.
Yeah, I'm an audiobook guy too.
So I would say the 10X Rules by Grant Cardone. Who Has My Cheese? Gary Vee has a couple powerful ones. Like anything Gary Vee, I'm on. Obama did a memoir, but it's long. It's long, but it was very inspirational. And then for Black business owners,
just entrepreneurs in general.
Blue Oceans. So Blue Oceans goes into the blue oceans and the red oceans. And so to explain that, a blue ocean a red ocean is, let's say, pizza, the field of pizza. You got Papa John's, Domino's, Pizza Hut, a bunch of other, that's a red ocean because it's full. A blue ocean will be Mellow Mushroom. They sell
in
pizza,
a different lane,
but it's in a different lane. And so Blue Oceans broke down some things about just taking what you have and making it so just a 10-second short of that. In the 90s, New York City was known for robberies. Like it was just very unsafe. So let's say New York had 100 train stops. They had one police at every train stop, to monitor it. But the new police chief says, this isn't smart. We don't have crime at 100 police stops. We have crime at 20 of them. So we're going to put 4 cops at the 20 of them and then have people roll. It dropped crime like by 200 or 300%. Because it wasn't one cop there where it was 5 or 4. And so and that was talked about in the Blue Ocean of more just strategies.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, man, because a lot of this interview is my questions are going to be kind of geared around what you just explained. It's just the outside the box thinking, like the police chief offered that increase or decrease the crime rate.
Right.
So that's very interesting to hear that. And you'll see where I'm going with that as we go along, man. So I don't know if you remember how we met initially. So
71st, playing the drums.
Boom. So you do remember
right.
Playing the drums, gospel choir. You had Pine Forest, I believe.
Right.
We had a gospel choir event, 2 drummers. I thought I was nice till you got on there and you kind of showed me a different level that I had not made it to yet. I wanted to ask you, man, not only are you nice with drums, you dabble in a few instruments, man. Where'd your love for music come from and playing different instruments?
Music is first. Like what people see now is the culmination of hustle and desperation.
Okay.
I'm a preacher's kid. My grandfather was a pastor. My mom was an evangelist. Church kid.
Likewise.
I am from one of the most aggressive cities in the country, but I'm still a preacher's kid. We went to church. I wasn't allowed to be on the block. My cousins were on the block. I played the drums in church, and then my grandfather played the organ. Then I graduated to organ. I played a bunch of other stuff, but at my core, when I left for college, my major was going to be music. I wanted to get a PhD in music and teach. So dabbling on it, like in second grade, I played with the high school band because I could read music and things of that nature. So um, I'm I'm an artist first,
Yeah.
but that doesn't pay my bills.
Mm-hmm.
And so in my living room, there's a drum set, a Hammond
I
organ,
know.
a Kurzweil keyboard. I log on to different, I may pay a guy online courses to learn different chord progressions.
Mm-hmm.
And then so for y'all watching, I never learned how to transpose. And transpose is when you're playing in one key and you hit a button and it takes you to another key.
Okay.
You never had to move your hands.
Mm.
I never learned that.
Okay.
You had to move your hands.
Yeah.
And so that is part of pretty much like the culture of not being having to transpose is really like a guy being able to work out and do pull-ups.
Gotcha.
Pull-ups is special.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull-ups is special. Yeah. You can bench.
Yeah.
But pull-ups.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes you different.
It puts you in a different category for sure.
Does.
For sure. You mentioned your grandfather, him having you in church and you playing that's where you kind of establish your musical interest. Take me back to your mom and pops, man. How did those relationships with your mom and dad kind of cultivate the person you have become today?
Well, the beautiful thing about my mom is that at 47, like when you're younger, you judge your parents' decisions.
For sure.
Then you get older.
And you understand.
And then and it's like, that's why you had to do it. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah.
And so as my mom had her struggles, I think if my mom had 70 in the tank, she gave us 85. And so on some levels, there is a struggle there, but there's so much forgiveness and love in there for her for a lot of things. And I learned so much. My mother, as we had our stress points, when I got older, my mother is the reason why I was never molested in church culture. My mom didn't play that. And so that alone, when I look at like my friends in church culture that were guys and they had that taken from them, my mother didn't allow me because I could play. And I won a state jazz band championship from the drum ensemble in 11th grade. I could play, read music and everything. My mother didn't allow me to go to certain church trips without her. I was too young. And then there was reports of I'd be mad I couldn't go, and they come back and say, well, the boys group had a lotion fight. Right. And so for that, my mother protected me from, and I don't know what she went through in church culture. My mom's born in the 50s. I don't know what she saw or so forth. So a lot of those secrets, they just kept in. But I know as a parent now, looking at her reaction then and what she protected me from, it was like I'm forever grateful to her.
How about your pops, man? I know you've posted about your pops more than I think you've spoke about your mom.
Right.
I think your pops did some time away.
He did a lot of time.
Yeah. Talk to us about that, man.
So my pop did from 80 to 88. Mind you, I'm born in 77. And then he did from 91 to 2013. And February 7th, 2013, my dad came home halfway house in Baltimore. And my pop is a product of his environment. My grandfather, and I didn't really see him much on my father's side, a rough guy. Just a very rough guy.
Your grandfather or your father?
My grandfather.
Okay, gotcha.
Very rough guy. And was really rough with my grandmom. And then he had 4 boys and my dad and my uncles, and that formed their lives. And so they were rough until like they got to the point where my uncles made sure he would never touch their mama again. They all did. So and he struggled with alcoholism, some other things and traumas that he could probably never speak of during his time or whatever. But my father is a gangster. Like he's a real life gangster, like suit, boot, put in work, gun toting gangster. And when he went to prison, he didn't take any of his friends with him. So he's under the old regime, the old law. But his heart golden. Like the money was never for him. Like my uncles will tell you the story, like they robbed 17 banks. He bring the money back, bust the money down here, I'll go get more. Like he was a family guy. And so now can I have the conversation with my dad about emotional intelligence and some of the things that we do now? No.
He ain't on that.
Yeah, no,
he old school.
He's born in 58. Yeah. So you got to think he was 10 when Martin Luther King died. He was 5 when Kennedy died. So TVs were still black and white. Segregation was still a thing. So you gotta, with my father, he talks like he's a mechanic, master mechanic. So we talk about things of that nature, and we talk about life and things of that. And he's my guy. Yeah, he's my guy. And so we just enjoy the frequency of love, and just the fact that he'll call me and say, "Son, I'm proud of you. Son, I love you." So and anybody listening, if your father's ever done time, you have a prepaid call from a federal institution. To accept the call, press 5. And then they give you a bunch of other instructions after that. And then you press 5. And then you talk for like 9 minutes. And then you have 1 minute left in the call. You have 30 seconds left in the call. That was my life for 20 years. I never remember him calling me collect. He always, whatever he had going on, he made sure he called. And so
it's powerful.
What he gave me, he said, "Kurin, this boy's in here getting locked up for that crack cocaine." He said, "Man," he said, "they got more time than me. And I done hurt some people." He said, don't leave that crack cocaine alone and do all your dirt by your lonesome." He said, "Don't get no co-defendants, Kurin, because they ratting." And he was like, he said that every phone call. Yeah. "Don't come here." Yeah. And I didn't.
Because that was the life lesson that he could provide for you based on where he was.
If he had 50 in the tank, he gave me 60. Yeah. So I never went to prison. Me and my homeboys got caught up because I did petty crimes as a kid, the small stuff that nuisance stuff, but getting money still. I'm a Jersey kid, so stuff affiliated with Jersey kids that not involved in guns and crack, we touched on it. And we had a move when I was in my early 20s. And me and a buddy got involved. He ran one way, police chased him, I ran the other way, got away. He ran it. And it was small. Back then it was big because it was early 20s. Running from the police, jumping over the gate, got away from but I laugh at it now, but it was terrifying then. Sure. Then I had a store in a mall in Winston when this happened. Police came to the mall looking for me. Guy named Charles Moore did, which is like a big brother to me. He was a bondsman. And he put me on to the lawyer. I took the lawyer a couple $. Mind you, I'm 23, 24 years old, so this is a big deal to me. And lawyer took me in. I didn't know how that worked. He said, "We're going to turn you in." I said, "What? You going to turn me in? How that work?" Small breaking and entering charge. We was hitting the warehouse, so forth and so on. And I turned myself in. Magistrate said, unsecured bond. I didn't know what any of that meant then. I signed the paper. He said, "You coming to court?" U.S. lawyer said, "Yeah." I signed the paper. Police took the cuffs off me. I left. I had probation, little restitution, and I ain't been in trouble since. So when I could hear my father saying, "No co-defendants," and everything else I did was by myself. Yeah, it was by myself.
Yeah. Now I learned that from watching First 48. Like if I ever decided to go to the other side, I ain't telling nobody nothing.
But I went to the other side in the 90s.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Early 90s. I get it. Early 90s and stuff. Late 90s. And so,
but not to cut you off, man, but something that you just said reminded me, because I interviewed Teen Williams. Okay. And 3 had said something, and he said that he felt like every young man should have to spend time, basically with other men, to be mentored, not necessarily like prison, but some form of isolation where you're learning from other men. And that kind of reminded me of what you just said. Your father kind of kept you away from jail because he was there, and he was able to paint a picture for you of what this looked like. You don't want this.
Our favorite artist, Hov did that. So hopefully you don't have to go through that. Right. So that's the play. So circling back to both my parents, I have my mother's processor, and I have my father's go get it. And so and I'm pat like therapy time, being a parent myself of adult children, built up a lot of forgiveness. You know, so a lot of my expectations, my childhood, I would not want somebody else to go through it. But the resilience it gave me made me different. Yeah. Like I can weather the storm. Yeah. Like I ain't too much that rattles me. And I ain't gonna make too many bad mistakes on the fly. And I'm definitely not one to react under emotions. Yeah. Nah, and you are definitely different, brother. And that kind of leads me to my next question. You know, you graduated from Pine Forest in 95. Right. You started We Print Tees in 99. Right. How in the world did you know 5 years after graduating from high school that entrepreneurship was the lane that you were going to take? I didn't. I didn't choose this. I left. Talk to him. I went to graduated Pine Forest, and my English, I took English 4 and I failed it. Whatever paper I wrote just didn't line up. I failed. And I got tapped on the shoulder that Friday and said I couldn't walk. So my friends graduated us. So I went back up to school. I talked to the English teacher, and I said, listen, I don't know if my home situation is going to be decent enough for me to repeat the 12th grade, and I don't have the resources to go to summer school. What can I do? I said, whatever I did, I'm sorry. I apologize. She looked over her glasses and said, that's all I ever wanted in the first place. Was an apology. She opened a grade book, changed the F to a D, called down. The principal's name was Wayne Bird, I believe. Said, Mr. Keys is cleared to graduate. Walked downstairs. Pine Forest. If anybody go to Pine Forest, you know, the office there, and then a little side door, and there was a safe there. The safe is just where they had random stuff, like student stuff, whatever like that. And so he opened the safe, grabbed my diploma, handed it to me, and shook my hand and said, good luck. That's why I graduated in the hallway. So I got a letter in the mail from Methodist College. And mind you, I had a pretty decent GPA in the 1250 and the SAT, but my family system wasn't that, you know. So I went to Methodist, had no idea. Daniel Van gave me, his buddy down the street, gave me a ride down to Methodist because he lived out there by Kelly Hills, right on the other side of Kelly Springfield. Gave me a ride to Pine Forest. I signed all kind of promissory notes. I didn't know what I was signing. You know, I got in there, and in 2 years at Methodist, I think I earned 10 credit hours. I don't even know how I stayed in school. And then so from there, left there, worked, hustled from mall jobs and things of that nature. And the t-shirt business fell in my lap. I was going to ask you, man, like, how did you know, you're such a visionary, bro. You know, I don't know if you realize that, man. I did a lot of research on you, man. I did a lot of reading up, Google. I went through, and bro, you a visionary, man. How did you know at that age, which you were probably 19, 20 years old, how did you know t-shirts was the lane that would be here 25 years later? Didn't. Talk to us, man. Ain't no way you just stumbled on that, bro. Bro, so my homeboy Steph was drawing. He was drawing, and we was dreaming. I finally got into Fayetteville State because I needed a chemistry class to get into Fayetteville State. So I failed that 3 times at Fayetteville Tech because I was hustling, moving. Then I had then my daughter Sauce came in December 97. I got the Fayetteville State fall of 98. And so we were dreaming. I was in the band. You know, I played football at Methodist, and I walked past Fayetteville State. You know, you know how I got on the band at Fayetteville State? Oh. I'm walking to the other side of campus. I go past the band, and I didn't really know anything about no marching band. Okay. So I'm walking past, and they jamming. Mind you, I'm a jazz band drummer. Okay. Like I read, I'm a jazz band like Dizzy Gillespie, Count Basie, Art Monk, Oscar Peterson. Those are my guys that I listen to. But marching band was almost in slow motion of jazz because it's a groove.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that.
Yeah.
They don't have nothing like that. So, and then jazz band speed is almost like shout music at church. So I'm walking by and I was like, I can do that. I said, nah, you can't do that. I said, nah, I can do that.
Yeah.
It was like, I said, can I try? He was like, yeah. Put it on. They played it. All right. And I handed it back to him. I was like, yo, that's cool, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
And I was leaving. He's like, yo, you want to be in the band? I was like, well, I can. And he was like, yo, let's go over the drop ad. I got introduced to Mr. Woods, rest in peace. And I got in the band. That's how so I was really going to be a music teacher. Like if you look at my credit,
that was the vision you had for your life.
If you look at my credit hours from Fayetteville State University, the first 2 years, music. Me and Steph was talking about in our group. It was me, Steph, Izzy Nice. Izzy was Big Mike back then.
Okay.
Izzy was back then. He gonna kill me for that. But
was he still a DJ?
What?
Okay. Hey, listen.
But it was another DJ called Big Mike, so he switched up.
He switched his name.
But Izzy is the original Big Mike. So all of us kind of ran together. Steph was drawing. I said, well, let's put that on t-shirts. And Brax Specialties was on Rayford Road. Tony Braxton, he's Tony Braxton's uncle.
Okay.
He was stationed here. I think it was Sergeant Major here. They used to be in the shopping center right across from Lafayette Ford.
Okay.
Went right over there. Yeah. He was he's the only black screen printer that I've known here. Okay. Like, so people think I started. I didn't. Brax Specialties did.
Okay.
So anyway, went over there. I got 10 shirts printed for $120. Came back to Fayetteville State and sold it for 10 of them for $10 a piece. Mind you, I lost $20. But I was like, it happened in a day. And I was like, okay. And I said, all right, what can I do? And we came out with controversial Nasty Land. And that went. It was a crazy picture insinuating that a girl was performing fellatio. And not the actual picture, but it insinuated it. And people lost their mind. I had it. Then I had to got the spot in a flea mall. Started out making $500 a week. My first weekend in the flea mall, May 1999. So this was happenstance. I tried it. I made money. I tried it again. I kept making money. So I go from Neil Grant rented me the booth, and this is the story. So I went to Parker Pawn. Big shout out to Parker Pawn. And I pawned my Rockford Fosgate amp for $30. I called my homeboy Vaughn at Aunt Kathy house. And I said, Vaughn, I want to open a spot in the flea mall. I need $20. Vaughn said, all right, come back. So I go get Vaughn, take him to the ATM. He gave me $20. I go see Neil Grant at the flea mall on 504 North McPherson Church Road. Give him the $50. Open my booth. I don't know what I'm doing. I sell shirts on Mother's Day, sold it. Came back, boom. Developed, boom. Kept going, boom. And then a year later, I'm popping. I'm making $500-600 a weekend. There was a guy named Darren. He sold the CDs, and I was on the back. I was on the back hall, and then he started selling. I think either the PlayStation, the bootleg. Remember when you could modify the PlayStation? Yeah. To play the bootleg Space Station? He was modifying them there. Okay. And then the Dreamcast came out. Okay. And he was modifying. So Darren, I took advantage of Darren's traffic. Yeah. Smart. Right. Yeah. So then the Maddens came out, and I'm putting Barry Sanders on the shirt 9 times, selling it for $30-$40. And then it's a guy named TT with thick glasses. TT, coolest brother ever lived. Rob Barber knows. He came in and he had a iceberg shirt on. It was a soft cotton shirt. I was like, that's nice. He said, this shirt is $100. I said, what? A t-shirt, $100?
Brain started moving.
And so I started putting multiple pictures on a shirt and selling them for $50. And it worked. Like, so I got this 8.5 by 11. I cut it out. Barry Sanders, Scarface. And then when the Scarface came out, I would play the movie, freeze frame it, copy it, have it on the, like it wasn't as easy as it is now. Yeah. So, and I had the pictures in it. So I would go through the movie and find exclusive parts of the movie that weren't on the internet. And so I had the Scarface ones going, National going. So I'm making $1,000 a weekend. Then I get my business cards. I put a fly chick on this end, a fly kid on this one, and both of them young. And I said, here's the play. I want you to pass out many cards. And whoever passes out the most cards, I give you a bonus. And they passed them out. Need t-shirts printed. Like I would have to stay sometimes after at the flea market because they would make me clean my own cards up. And then I went from the side aisle to the main aisle, and I was doing from 1,000 a week to 2,000 a week. So I'm working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're open Thursday and Monday. I'm there Thursday through Monday. And they got to put me out. Kurin, you're lying too long, so forth and so on. And so then I went to the mall, and from there.
And you had the kiosk in the mall, right?
Kiosk in the mall.
Yeah, I remember that. So I think that's when I kind of picked up on you at that point.
So the kiosk in the mall, I had no clue what I was doing. We made $700-800 a day.
Wow. Man, you had a vision. You ain't know how it was going to play out, but.
You're giving me too much credit.
Okay.
I was surviving.
Yeah, but there's vision that's attached to survival.
Couldn't be. That's all God.
Of course, absolutely.
I didn't. I really didn't have vision. Here, and I knew the mall. I outgrew the flea market, so it wasn't so much a vision as it was. I can't make more money here. I need to go to the level. What's the next level?
Right.
And so I still, in my mind, I'm making $2,000 a week, which is significantly more than the music teacher. My brain is still saying, this is just cool for now. This ain't going to sustain. You still got to go back to school.
Right.
When I went to the mall, I made $500-600 a day. And I'm in my brain, I'm still thinking, nah, this ain't gonna last. This is just something I'm doing because people downplayed it.
You keeping the plan B in the back of your head.
No, that was the plan A.
You're right.
In our society, I had people that would come by me and I had thousands of dollars in my pocket.
So you was just moving off the plan B with a plan A still in your mind.
Right. I'm thinking I'm gonna let this go.
Yeah.
And go back to school.
When the wave go.
Right.
I know what I'm doing.
This will just get me by.
Yeah.
And I'm living miles ahead of people
that were in school.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I would get Kurin, when you gonna go back to school? And so
almost down talking to you like you're a failure.
It was very slick.
Yeah, it's very condescending.
The mall is open 72 hours a week. Monday through in that time you got to think Monday through Saturday. Monday through Saturday is from 10 to 9. So that's 66 hours, 11 hours a day. And then on Sunday, 12 to 6, I had a payroll of 72 hours a week. I had a payroll of 72 hours a week. And I've never paid anybody minimum wage. When it was $4.25, I paid them $5. When it was $7.25, I started them at $8. So I really, in the mall, my payroll was almost $1,000 a week because I had multiple people.
Yeah.
And I'm paying $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
And they don't make $1,000 a week.
Right.
But I'm still thinking that's the plan A.
Yeah.
Because that's how we're programmed as Black people. Get your education, get a good job.
Yeah. And that's also why you got a lot of the condescending, tones from people around you, because we were all embedded with that. So it's like, oh, he ain't finished school. He over there.
Can I talk my shit?
Yeah. Hey, please. Man. That's why you're here.
How you doing in your little job? What do you say? What do you say off Soul Food?
Yeah.
You can forget about your job.
Right.
It's love. It's love. It's love. It's love. Because I say this, for every one person that said something slick, there was 50 of them that say, Kurin, go get him.
Yeah.
Like Dr. James Warner, go get him. The bros at Fayetteville State supported me. Alric Banks gave me my first job there, screen printing deal, the print for Delta Gamma. And it was a 5-color job. I mucked it up. And it was so terrible and I felt so bad, and Al covered for me. And he said, don't worry about it. I know you'll fix it. Next year I came back,
He believed in you.
Yeah, so big shout out to Eric Banks, 96 DJ,
shout out,
or Trey Dog.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of people around me that said, keep going. And then people started coming to me like, Kurin, I need a job. You know, I was like, you need a job? And I'm, so yeah, it wasn't a vision. I thought I was just hustling.
Yeah.
Because hustle was always viewed as
I don't, and I get what you're saying, man, but there's a lot of visionary attached to that though. Even though you was just operating out of, I'm just hustling, I'm just doing what I gotta do until this don't do it no more. There's still, bro, you still was running that with purpose and with God's design over you.
I didn't do that till I was late 30s.
I don't think you realized it till you was late. You wasn't mature enough.
I didn't have vision.
Okay.
I was in survival mode.
I got you.
Like I knew, you got to remember where I'm from. So being from Camden, New Jersey, the most violent, poor city in the country, Camden had RCA, Campbell Soup, the shipyards. So those are the major three. And then you had all the other supporting companies. Like how many companies exist here just because Fort Bragg is here?
Facts.
Right. A lot. So there's a gas company, a diesel company that just sells diesel gas to Fort Bragg.
Right.
There's a steel company. Think about it. Fayetteville's this big. We have Hercules Steel here. Why is Hercules Steel here? Right. Because those companies come. So imagine if Fort Bragg left, and then you put crack. That's what happened to Camden. Camden was a promising town. Like our houses were 4,000 or 5,000 square feet, 3 stories high with cobblestone. You didn't build those for poor people. This is rich folks' houses. But the industry
collapsed.
Right. And then you put crack in the communities. And Camden is 10 square miles big. 10 square miles. You can walk from one side to another in an hour or so. So my hustle, everybody in Camden is hustling. Everybody's moving and shaking. Whether you on a corner or whether you selling quarter waters or whether you pitching quarters at the corner store. And pitching quarters is literally like whoever get closest to the wall, or if my quarter hits your quarter, then I get them all. That's what the kids do. That was our version of gambling.
Gotcha.
So with that type of hustle, all you knew was education is the way out.
Yeah. I get it. And I think, going back to, you being a visionary, man, I've always perceived you as that. You may not feel like you was operating in that, but I always perceived you as that. So I guess that's why for me, like you were always somebody that, I admired from a distance because of what you built yourself, man. Like you self-made, man. Like
survival.
I get it, bro, but you got to give yourself some credit, man. Like there's other ways you could have chose to survive that might have not have landed you where you are today.
The t-shirt business was consistent. It chose me.
I get it, but you could have been a knucklehead.
I want tough.
No, I didn't mean a knucklehead like in the streets. I mean you could have just stayed with the course of trying to be the music teacher and not necessarily understanding what your purpose was in that time.
So with the situation with my family structure, the demise of my family structure, my sisters came to live with me. So like 98, when I was at Fayetteville State, my sisters came to live with me. And then, so I had a little trail off bunch. And
Old bunch?
Old bunch.
Yeah.
I had a little trail off bunch. And I can't even think of the family that blessed me with it. They covered me so good. They were good to me. And so many of my sisters were there. I had a heater in one room and we all slept in the same bed, and I would drive them to school. It was at Douglasburg then. And because the family system collapsed. And so I had to take my sisters in. So it was some sisters down this Groveview Terrace, and that's where the housing headquarters used to be. So if you wanted to get housing, you had to go to Groveview Terrace. So I went down there. I was like, listen, I'm in this trailer. I got my sisters. My family system collapsed. I got to get my sisters situated. And them sisters down there, mind you, housing take 6 months to a year. Got me housing in less than 30 days. I don't think I was at that trailer another 10 days after them sisters found out. I was able to get my sister's Medicaid. I was able to get food stamps, and we moved into Stanton Arms. And then they went to Berg, and I was still in school, and so I had the blue van. I was like I said, my sense of desperation. I was making money selling T-shirts, and so that's just what I kept doing.
Yeah.
So if I wake up today and I make T-shirt money, I wake up tomorrow I make T-shirt money, and there's something else pulling me here. But for the last 10 days, I've made T-shirt money. I'm gonna just go with what I know.
Yeah.
And so for years, I just went with what I knew, and then I got better at my craft. I grew it, but it wasn't until Bronco Square where I got my own facility where I had to become a visionary.
Okay, there we go.
Because it was like,
why did that force you to become a visionary?
Lamont Clark, I went to him and I said, I want to do this. And he said, all right, I'll help you. And he helped me, him and Unc. They helped me do Bronco Square, man. And I'm forever grateful for them. Like, the Clark family all the way around, for him, Unc, El Rallo, and all of them, there's just so much love because he was like, he's there at the bottom. Like, all right, I believe in you. Let's go get it. And so I got in Bronco Square when Bronco Square was new. And because they believed in me and sowed a seed into me, I had to see a vision. It wasn't just me anymore. Like, all right, you got these people really depending on you. And so, and they walked, now El and Unc knew a lot about the rules of a business that I didn't know. And they taught me. And some stuff I learned on the fly, and some stuff I got miserably wrong.
Listen, because that's why I was getting ready to go, man, because you are, I know this version of you today. I didn't know you in the early stages of when you were trying to get things going. And you have always been somebody that has been very knowledgeable about your craft, about just entrepreneurship in general. And so that was going to be one of my questions, man. Like, how did you accumulate this knowledge?
John Russell, the Clarks, and Mr. Shorter. So John Russell was at the flea market. I was probably the only person in my age group there that wouldn't work for him. I worked with him. And John Russell,
what did he you say you didn't work for him?
He was the CD man forever.
Okay.
He had this,
okay.
And the John Russell is phenomenal. He's had a lot of hustlers under them learn. But he was more like a big brother to me.
Okay.
New York dude, hustle real he's the only man that ever put me on. Like, we was wrestling in the hall one day, I'm young 20s, he's late 30s, the mid 30s, and he said, you think you can take me, Kurin? I said, man, you don't want to grab me, old man. So I grabbed him.
Yeah. Yeah, that grown man strength.
Yeah. And I'm with him. Mind you, I'm in shape.
Yeah.
Boom, put me on my back.
Yeah.
And grabbed me and hugged me, told me he loved me. He said, well, listen, it's different. and so it was the old lion grabbing the young lion.
Yeah.
So John Russell, the Clarks, and Floyd Shorter were pretty much where Floyd Shorter ran the business center, and his wife, Dr. Shorter, the rest of both they sold was the chair of the elementary education department at Fayetteville State. And he used to own 5-10 Burger Kings, if not more. And I used to go just sit up under him and listen. He would just pour into me. Him, Mr. Pemberton. I would just go listen to the old men. And they would just pour into me, and I'm listening. And then, so John is all hustle. John kept the fire in me because I can't go slower than him. And then the Clarks, they had structure. They was always buying a building, buying real estate, doing this and so forth and so on. He knew about Uncle Lamont knew about codes, signage, all the stuff that you had to do downtown. And so I listened, and Bronco Square made me have to have a vision. And then I wrote the book. Right.
Yeah.
And then
I got you. I wanted to ask you, man, your ideas you're super creative. You lead the way in thinking out of the box when it comes to your advertising and marketing. How did you, coming from a perspective of I'm just hustling to now you're in a season where you're a dynamic thinker when it comes to growing your business. Where did that come from, bro? How did you adapt the ability to think outside the box like you do?
I can tell you where I have it.
Okay.
I had to come up with a creative because I was going to vend at CIAA in 2005.
Mm-hmm. Good old days.
Man. CIAA was in Charlotte. Oof. And I paid the vendor fee. And I was going to make shirts on the spot. I had a shirt made. Mm-hmm. And I looked online on how the booths were set up. Mm-hmm. I said, well, I got to have visuals because other companies have visuals. And booths. So I didn't want just a table and whatever. And so I had a big 6-foot sign made, cute little girl on there with our shirt on. And when I went, I could compete. My booth looked just as good as Pepsi. And my booth, I was like, oh. And this was on my own. I was like, oh. And I made like 5 bands that weekend. And I said, oh, I can swim with this? I can swim with these sharks? Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, okay, cool. Say less. Mm-hmm. Then so I'm studying Geico, they tint, and I'm studying Coca-Cola, how they set up. I'm looking at like the big dogs, like who's moving money, who's making money, how they do it, credit card sales, who had credit card, how they like I'm studying everything on there. And I said, okay. You niggas ain't smarter than me. You just got more resources. Mm-hmm. So then I started going to the shows. I said, oh, I went to Vegas. Then I went and then it wasn't even Vegas. The marketing capital of the world is 42nd Street in New York. Mm-hmm. I went and sat amongst them. I said, I'm listening to them. I'm hearing them. This person went to USC and this person went to NYC and you went to all these great marketing schools. You jokers ain't better than me. Y'all can't think out of the box. When you talk about conversion, y'all talk about advertising and marketing and so forth and so on. I'm looking at conversion. You talk about SEOs, SEMs, and I'm listening to you and so forth and so on, but you push and play. I'm sink or swim. Mm-hmm. We not the same. Mm-hmm. If I don't, like Outkast said, if you don't move your feet, then we don't eat. So we like neck to neck. Yep. So I'm like, oh, y'all not that good. You just got bigger budgets.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm good.
Bigger backing,
right? I sampled your voice. You was using it wrong. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. And so when I got there and I found out, like, I'm at these conferences and they're talking and they're like, well, our staff and we're budgeting and so forth and so on, and we're doing this and we're doing this. And I sat in the back. I just listened. And the guy said, and I looked, my face now, and the guy at the conference said, "You in the back. Why is your face gnarled up?" Like he said, "I'm not challenging." He said, "Tell me." Mm-hmm. I said, "Can I speak honestly?" And I said, "Ma'am, can I speak honestly and not offend?" She said, "Yeah, sure." I said, "Everything she said is wrong." Mm-hmm. I said, "The cost benefit analysis of that breakdown is going to cost a company 300% of what it takes. It needs to be this, and this. You don't need to have 5 meetings like that." And I broke it down. If you make 12, if you got staff, see, y'all can make decisions like that because you don't have staff that come out of your pocket. You have an overall budget, you think like this, and then you have a meeting about the meeting about the meeting. If a guy makes $12 an hour, he makes 20 cents a minute. If he goes to the bathroom for 10 minutes, that's $2. It costs me 57 cents for him to flush twice, wipe, and wash his hands and use the soap. So for somebody to use the bathroom every day, it costs me $2.50. It's 240 work days in a year. We not talking the same.
Right.
If I got, and at that time I had 12 employees. Mm-hmm. If I got 12 people that cost me $2.50 a day, we had $30 a day just for you to shit on me. So at that level, I'm like, yeah, and so I learned business infrastructure. Mm-hmm. And once I learned that, I was a problem. Yeah, I was a problem because I was like, oh yeah. Where you get a load of me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is entrepreneurship something that you try to speak into your children?
No.
Talk to me. Like, what is your thinking? I'm sure you want them to find their own journey, find their own niche.
Right.
But I find myself having conversations with my children more so about being their own boss than working for somebody. Versus how we were raised. We were go to school, get a good job, go to the military. Either way, you working for somebody. And I just feel like with the responsibility that I have, with the knowledge that I've learned, even if they don't work for somebody, cool. But I just want to I want to speak that into their life so they know it's possible. I don't feel like our generation really knew that, which speaks more to me about your journey of you starting so young. So what is the conversations you having with your children about their future as far as, working and earning money moving forward in life?
Unless you're going to be a lawyer or a doctor, I ain't paying for it. You do what you want.
Okay.
Go to trade school.
Okay.
Ain't a lawyer in this town.
Mm-hmm.
In this town that make more than the largest plumber in this town. I'll bet my shop on it.
Yeah, nah, I would agree with that.
I bet my shop on a doc. Pick a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what he makes. Got one set of hands.
Mm-hmm.
The lawyer got one set of hands. Unless the lawyer got a bigger firm,
right,
where like 10 lawyers up under him, then he get money.
Yeah.
Then he got lawyers that make $500,000-600,000. He get 30% of they. Then boom. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about one person.
Right.
If you go one person pound for pound, and they'll tell you
mm-hmm.
against a plumber, a good plumber,
mm-hmm.
with a staff of 2 or 3, no.
For sure. But even that's entrepreneurship though. Because you're basically telling them like, yeah, go to trade school to start your own business.
But all right. So if we reverse it to take it back, that entrepreneur, you'd have to make more money than a lawyer or doctor. Cool. Mm-hmm. But if you're not for a regular plumber, makes $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Easy. Mm-hmm. And he worked for a company, but they don't play with him like that. Right. They don't play with his time like that. It ain't like, hey, bro, what? Stop. You don't like plumbers, electricians, you can't talk to them any kind of way.
Right. They can go get a job anyway.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Mm-hmm. An engineer, the guys that drive the truck for PwC, like for my store store has 4-phase power. Okay. There's only 4 guys in the whole city that work at PwC that can work on 4-phase power. That's it. 4. We're 9. So those guys, they work for PwC, but they don't work for PwC. Yeah. Like you got a supervisor, but they don't. You treat them different. So what I would say, I would trade. Like, name a company. Name any company that make more money than Blank. AC installs on the low level. For one, it's 10 bands. They got like 50 trucks. So I know for a fact, because I was talking to the lady, I said, well, if we was printing for y'all, she said, bring about over 100 employees. So let's do the simple math, high and low. Let's say if you got an average of $20 an hour, the top guys making 35, the lowest person office making 15. 100 people at $20 an hour is $2,000 an hour. And 40 hours a week. For 80 bands a week. In payroll. You ain't paid their benefits yet. Right. So if he had 80 bands, you might as well add another 30,000. He had 100 a week. He had 100 a week in payroll.
Trade school is definitely the route to go. For sure.
100 a week in payroll. It's 52 weeks. Yeah. He had $5 million in payroll. And I'm not counting their paper. What I'm saying is just
no.
But I
put it in perspective.
Listen, man. He had a little spot off Pamela. He bought the block. He bought the block and put his business on the hill. Do you know what it costs for the infrastructure of an engineer to come build your business on a hill? He's on the hill by the bridge. What did that check look like? Right. And it was probably no nonsense. Like, yeah, this is what we want. I want it right here. You don't want this one? I want it right here. He ain't playing. So that's why when you think about respect, you think you got a PhD? Then the owner got a PhD? I promise you don't. And I don't know the owners of respect, but I respect the power of it. Yeah. You know, HVAC? Like the bag is in.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I think if we don't know that, if our generation is not talking to our kids about trade school, you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. Whether it be a plumber, barber, you got barbers riding around here in Corvettes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the best years for black people in the United States was the first 7 years after the slaves were free. We didn't need nobody. We never needed. Let me tell y'all something. We never needed desegregation. They did.
They saw us coming.
They didn't have no workers. Who's the blacksmith?
Right.
Who built it? Who's your mason? They freed the slaves because it was like 3 million of them. 3 to 4, I think 3, almost 5 million of them. Check that stat for me. But yeah, they freed that because it was easier. If you have 100 slaves and the slaves are considered property, then you get taxed on your property. So if you get taxed $10 a year on your property on 100 slaves, versus if you free them, pay the slave and pay the slave $7, and then make the slaves pay $1 in their taxes, you kept 2, and they still got to get all their resources from you. Right? Yeah. It was a play. Yeah. So that's why I say trade.
Yeah. No, and I'm with you on that 100%. But just you being the boss, the entrepreneur that you are, I just figured even in those conversations with your children about trade, it still came back to like, yeah, we're going to go the trade route, but eventually we all want to own our own stuff. I don't. Okay.
Like, I would tell them, my children, get a trade, work for somebody else, buy you some rental property. The first one should be a quadplex. You buy you a quadplex, you rent 3 out, you live in 1. You keep your regular job, have your rental income coming in. Your rental income profit should be about 30%.
Right.
So after you pay all your bills, now you got those 3 people, those 3 renters paying. Let's say a quad costs you $300,000. Mortgage on $300,000. Let's say it's $3,000, and I'm just rounding up. Now let's say $2,500, but you got 3 renters paying you $1,200 a month, and you live there. So you got $3,600 coming in on $2,500 in bills. You pocketed $1,200 on top of your regular job. You do that for a year or two. Let's say you did that for 2 years, and you stack $1,200 a month. You got 20 grand down, and you got the equity in that, and you go buy another one. So now you got your regular job. You got 8 units that you live in. Then and you move out of one. Now you got 8 times $1,200 coming in. That's what, $9,600 a month coming in. Let's say it costs you 5. You got $4,600 in rent money coming in, and you make $4,000 a month on your job. So now you got 2.
I get it, and that's a hell of a play.
That's a 2-year play that black people don't know. 2 years.
But and I get it. Nothing you're saying is wrong. But I just think, and you know your children better than me, of course. Excuse me, but I would just imagine these kids that you have grown up their whole life seeing their dad be a hustler, be the leader in the workplace, be a boss. How could that not trickle down to a few of them? How could they not want that for themselves?
Because they saw me work long hours. They saw me not available on holidays. They saw me be late to their games. They saw me not emotionally available because I was tired. My children don't want my life.
That's real.
Like it's cool to be the boss until you got to be the boss. Like my property taxes is $2,000 a year, just on the building. The AC broke down. AC was down. To replace the AC in my building was $20,000. I didn't have it. What I'm supposed to do? I got to find somebody to get it. My machines get to be. I got 3 machines in one room.
They get hot.
It's 400 degrees.
Yeah,
300 on average. How we supposed to do that?
Right.
So I had to find a way. Somebody, so my children.
The stress behind it.
The time.
Gotcha.
And so where my children look at now is that they'll tell you off top that they felt like I love the business more than I love them.
Even your older children that understand it now?
My older children especially. Younger children, they get the better version of it.
Okay.
I'm a better dad.
You've learned. Yeah.
But my older children, they feel like I love the business more than I love them. But I don't think they understand that to be a dad, I had to provide. And to provide or just to be able to live, men have to work. And you're gonna have if you got the money, you're not gonna have the time. If you had the time, you had the money. And so it's just that's something as a dad that I wish I'd have had more better work home life balance.
Gotcha. How many children do you have, man?
12.
12. So you have a very unique style of parenting.
Right.
You know, and as I was doing my research on you, man, I was reminded of something that you did that inspired me. The My Grades Matter movement. Yo, let me tell you something. First of all, before we dive into that, you will find a way to go viral. You will find a way to get in front of a news camera, bro.
I used to.
Used to, for sure. For sure. But man, that was a hell of a movement. I don't know if you remember, but that inspired me, what you did to Kurin's shoes, Jr. That's Kurin. His son is a junior. Inspired me. Latrell slacked off in school one year, and I got My Grades Matter cut into the back of his head. I don't remember that.
I remember that.
But talk to me about your parenting. I know you have 12 kids. I know you have an older daughter because you post about her all the time. How did you parent the girls versus the boys? Were you tougher on the boys? Were you more lenient on the girls? Like, what was your parenting philosophy with your children?
Love them and be available. Like I didn't grow up with parental skills.
None of us did, bro.
You know, all I know is I'm here. Call me, talk to me. You like I'm at the shop. You're more than welcome. Come to the shop. And I've always made myself available. Like what you know, emotionally. Like, and I'm as a dad, I'm still learning. But that was my thing, and so my daughters are out the gate dogs. They dog like the two oldest go getters, hungry, so forth. Dangerous. Like you know, Ashley's getting her PhD, working at the college. Sauce is the deputy press secretary for the United States Department of Commerce. She in the room, like that's my Olivia Pope, and I'm her Eli. But my boys have the hardest job.
Why do you feel like that?
Their father's name is Kurin. And I my resilience has made what I do look effortless. And so what happened is that nobody knows that I ran so hard that my tears look like sweat.
Yeah.
Nobody knows when the light bill was due at 5 and the deal came in at 4:57. Nobody knows that. And so my sons carry a mantra of, but your dad. And it's the hardest weight that they have to carry. So they don't want to be nothing like me. They don't want to be nothing. They want to be their own man and so forth and so on. And
how does that make you feel though?
It's tough. It's tough to watch.
Yeah. I would imagine, man.
Because I can't.
Because I think every father has the idea, you know, we want our sons to kind of follow in our footsteps to a certain degree. So for you to say they don't want to be nothing like me, that to me, that hurt me to hear.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Genetics is genetics.
Yeah.
A wolf gonna be a wolf.
Yeah.
So no matter how much dog food they feed that wolf, first time you get blood, it's gonna change you. I'll let life cheat you. I know what I planted. So no matter how far off you go, a wolf gonna be a wolf. You can raise it in the house with dogs. You can teach it to poop outside. But the first time, the first time the back of them teeth sweat, and it's something in that innate nature to hunt kick in, and a bird or a raccoon or a rabbit in the yard, and the wolf go at it, and he bite into it, and that blood hit them teeth. You got wolf.
It changed.
Right. The dog food ain't gonna be the same.
Nah, it ain't enough. It ain't satisfying.
So, I think I've set a mark for them that was accidentally unrealistic. They didn't have my beginning, so I'm wrong to ask them to have my end.
Ooh.
Like it's Michael Jordan is 6'6" with 12-inch hands. His son Jeff, not so much.
Right.
You know, with a dog, and so there's the hope of business acumen and things of that nature, but I had to. A lot of my pushing them has created a divide, and I'm not understanding. I'm not a therapy dad, and I'm not a dad to come sit down and where you can tell me about how you feel about my parenting. I made the best decisions to make you better, and if you have an opinion about that as an adult, then that's between you and God. I love them, but on certain things I'm open, and the other things I'm not so much. And I'm not saying that's the best method.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that I don't need to grow.
Right.
But I think on certain levels as a man, it's like, I'm gonna talk about this. I'm not gonna talk about that.
I mean, and none of us got this parenting thing figured out, especially for fathers, man. It's very difficult for us, you know what I mean? And, we can be, weird at times as dads, you know what I mean? I feel like, but it's all because we want the best for our kids.
Right.
We don't want them to travel the same journeys we traveled and go through the same obstacles that we have come through. But I just feel like we always want what's best for our kids. And this generation of kids they so entitled and they so spoiled, a lot due to us, but we just wanted to provide for them a better upbringing than what we came into.
Yeah. I just like we battle against something as parents that nobody ever had to battle against.
What's that?
Self-perception based upon a false reality.
Elaborate on that.
Social media.
Oh.
So you have this perception of what reality is, and then they take on these roles.
Yeah.
And they take on versus you and I, we knew what it was like. If me and you was 12 years old, we got in a fight and you got punched in the mouth. There's this Twitter beef and guys get emotional and wind up shooting each other. They don't have dispute resolution skills. Like you won't meet 100 kids between the ages of 22 and 17 that got into a fight. They don't have the consequence of it. So me and you grew up where what?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the hood, even the weird guy can fight. Like he not a banger. He not on the corner.
Right.
But he gonna walk home in peace.
Right.
We grew up in the era where that's what it was.
Yeah.
And so, but what that created, these kids don't get punched in the mouth, so they have no fear of consequence.
Yep. I agree.
Versus
that's good.
So in the school system, it's no tolerance because the violence is so big. Versus when we went to school, you get punched in the mouth in the gym, that you just got punched in the mouth. It was a fight in the locker room. If no teachers came in, it got broke up. It was what it was. It's just different because it's their perception of themselves in the mirror in the social media mirror. So you don't know who you're meeting. You can wake up one day and your son's speaking fluent Chinese because he's been online with a cat in China and learned Mandarin, and he's in the anime.
Yeah. No, that's real, man.
Yeah, so
that's real. One thing that I've always admired about you is, like I said before we started recording, man, you have a strong self-belief in yourself, a strong confidence that is like, you don't have to say a lot for people to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like the few words that you may utter out of your mouth, people can say, oh, he's very sure of himself. He's very knowledgeable of who he is. And it's evident in your projects, your advertisement and marketing strategies are very out of the box thinking. And I know that comes from somebody who is very confident. You got 10 billboards up around the city.
Right.
You got signage all up in the mall around the entrance and exit doors. And you've also done billboards, not just in Fayetteville, but in Atlanta. You got Killer Mike's you know, you tried to get at Killer Mike, man.
I met him.
Oh, you met him through that? I didn't know that. See, that wasn't on the interview.
Mike, he gave me a birthday shout out. I wound up putting mask for when him and T.I. opened they reopened Bankhead Seafood down in Atlanta. So a big shout out to Killer Mike. We had dialogue and stuff like that. Like before that, like the album he got 3 Grammys on.
Yeah,
we were exchanging while he was getting it mixed and mastered in New York.
Okay.
And so I was blessed to meet him. He was super kind, poured into me.
What did he say about the billboard?
He said he said the ingenuity involved in that was incredible.
Yeah.
He said if somebody want to put out on the billboard to get to you, that's big. And so we chopped it up, and that was dope. But that billboard worked. It was one. But I did a movie, The $100 Love Letter to Black Women, on Amazon. And Amazon has a filmmaker deal, independent filmmaker deal, where you get 50% of, like, you load it up, they put it on their platform, and it's a 50-50 split. So whatever, you can go to sell it for $9 or whatever price you put it on there, or you can have advertisement run on there, and you whatever it is, 50-50 split, and they carry it. I put up 57 billboards in Atlanta for that, and flopped. My reason for saying that is that you mentioned Killer Mike. I won. One billboard. Had 57 others that lost. My confidence is based upon I know that if you miss every shot you don't take. So it's not so much a level of confidence, it's just I know it can happen. I know it can happen. There are people that are richer than me that are not smarter than me. They don't have more work ethic than me. They have better systems than me. So I know if I shoot, I gotta shoot. Just keep shooting, keep trying. And so, can I tell you where the basis of that came from?
Please.
I was 11 years old. I went to St. James Church in New Jersey. We went over to Philadelphia to this church called Rose of Sharon. Never forget, I was 11 years old. The sister, it was a sister that played the drums. Her name was Esther. She could go. And it was me, Esther, and another drummer younger than me. His name was Andre. And we was in the balcony, and our pastor was about to go up, and there was another drummer on there on the drums. Mind you, we on the balcony, drummed. In Philly, the black churches took over where the old Catholic churches were. Okay. So it was huge.
Huge, yeah.
So our organist goes
Cathedrals.
up. Right. Actually, yeah. Our organist goes up, and I asked Esther, I was like, you're not going to go up and play? Now, mind you, Esther could go. And this is 88. Where female drummers won't, like, if the only inspiration for a female drummer was Sheila E. So she was like, nah, I'm gonna let him rock. And I had my sticks in my pocket. And I was like,
this my chance.
it was in it. I was like, I just can't sit here and just, he was like, no, I don't want to disturb none. He already playing, he can go. And I said, you know what? And I took a couple breaths. I looked down, and my brain said, that drummer's not as nice as me. Walked down steps, walked straight down the aisle to the drum. Mind you, I'm 11.
Everybody looking.
I mean, I'm a small 11. Yeah. I got my sticks in my pocket. I pull my sticks out. I'm walking straight to the drummer. And I don't know if he's going to turn me around or what, but I'm walking straight to the drummer. He saw me. He said, oh, you move the left-hand drum, put it over here. So forth and so on. Okay. Got me up. Said, all right, little man, come in. And I rocked. From that point on, at 11, I knew all you got to do is try. And so that level of, I remember that. You know, I was like 12, 13 years old playing with the Doobie Brothers in Philadelphia. All I did was go up and try to like play. And it was rock, the Doobie Brothers. Right. And so my confidence formed as a kid. And then when my grandfather got sick at 11, my uncle got addicted to crack, and my family system fell apart, that confidence switched over to survival. And I never looked back. And so it's not that I'm so like I got this air, and it is I was starving. I got put in the woods. And when I came out with the woods, I had meat, vegetables, and a coat. So I know it's possible. So at the worst set of circumstances, I'm from the poorest, most violent city. Family system part apart. The man that was supposed to, my father went to prison. My uncle got addicted to crack. My grandfather got sick. My grandmother died when I was 3 months old. My entire family system has been falling apart before I even had a chance to learn how to write in cursive. So by the time I get there, I'm like, it's go time. And all I knew was to go, make sure my sisters ate, they got their hair done, they got their nails done. I sent them to prom. I made sure everything. I went to the PTA meetings. I made this happen. And it wasn't like it was like, yo, if I don't do it, they're not gonna eat. Like I fought a gangster because my sisters were developed. I wasn't tough. I'm a hustler. I wasn't tough, but he was like, they going with me. I said, no, the hell they ain't. And he had his pistol. I jumped in the car. These my baby sisters. Whatever gonna happen, that's what's gonna happen. I rumbled both of them. My sisters got out the car. I wound up seeing him later, and he looked, saw me, and kept going. But I wasn't tough. I just defended.
You was a protector,
right? Yeah. This wasn't no desperation type. Oh, this was desperation. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm about it. No, I've never been like that.
No, you got to protect your sisters, man.
So between learning protection, being in desperate situations, I learned to go. And in my mid-30s, that's when I would go back to what you were talking about, vision. From all the success that I had surviving, I said, okay, I need to put it. I didn't have a business plan. I was 35 till I was 35 years old. Like all this, oh my God, business instruction. I bought it low, I sold it high. And I did that on repeat. 35 before I wrote my verse. 35, 34. So it's not, I can't say it's not confidence because there's a level of confidence. It is not birthed in from a space of arrogance, as it is birthed from a place of, whew, I made it.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. I mean, you got a hell of a testimony, man. Just from you having to raise and protect your sisters, right, and just your whole journey in business is something that I admire. I wanted to ask you, what was the thinking, and also what was the process behind you having the desire to want to run for city council?
Jimmy Keefe said, if you don't lead, then you'll be led. Jimmy Keefe is the owner of Trophy House,
okay,
and current county commissioner. And he said, Kurin, if you don't lead, you'll be led. And I had a great race. But actually, speaking of that, Mario Benavente, the currency, is the greatest lesson that I've ever learned. Because I had to run for office, and he talked real slick about my family, and I couldn't break his jaw.
Who is this?
Mario Benavente. He's the current city council.
Okay, gotcha.
He said some really, really rough stuff, political stuff, but it was rough. And I wanted to see him.
Yeah,
like I wanted.
It was personal. He made it personal.
Yeah. But he was young. Had dealt in that political world. And thought that's how he should come at it. And we've had conversations, and we're on good terms now.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. Things get married. Phenomenal guy. Phenomenal guy. But I wanted to see him. I was like, yo, I know you're not tough. You can't talk to me. Like I know. And I couldn't because I was a candidate. And there are different rules.
You'd have made it easy for him if you'd have.
I'd have made it bad for myself.
Well, that's what I mean.
Because I just bought my property.
Okay.
And the boy was on his way to law school. I already know how this going to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already know this is going to tie up. I'm just going to eat all the equity in my blood. I couldn't. I was in the public eye. I couldn't deal with it. I had to deal with it professionally. And like I said, he wasn't anything other than political. They do what things do in politics, so forth and so on. But it's certain things that are off limits in our culture.
Right. That's not in politics.
That's not in politics.
Yeah.
And so I grew because of him. Because I couldn't clap back.
Yeah.
I couldn't have the normal, and then other people dug at my past, and he this and he that, boom, boom. And I was like, these are the same people I helped. I helped you, but you. And so I had to sit back and say I had to grow. Like when I say I had to grow, because I knew
what made you even want to get into the political realm, man? Like
Jimmy Keys.
Just because of that saying, if you don't lead, you'll be led.
If you don't lead, you'll be led. Jimmy Keys said that, and I was like,
but that made you feel like you was qualified to lead. Not saying you weren't. I'm just asking, like in your mind, that made you feel like I'm gonna go ahead and do this. That was the one thing. Like you had no other desires or no other ambitions to be in politics. That one saying from the gentleman from the trophy house was what inspired you.
It was the I'd always thought about it like on the fence. But
okay, so you always thought about it. Okay,
I was on the fence, but when he said it, I was like, and so the city's a business.
Yeah, the country is.
Right. And so if the city's a business, if you don't sign the front of checks and you're on city council, you can accidentally become an activist because the city council just manages policy. They can't change. Like you got some people like you're on city council. How do you feel about abortion? They can't do that. Yeah, you can't how do you feel about this and that? And like city council doesn't even have the ability to put speed bumps in the neighborhood. That's a Department of Transportation issue. But people don't know the limits. All they know is you're in city council, you're political, I voted for you.
Yeah.
And you're on
just like people think the president got all the power. Right. Yeah.
So all they know is, especially in a presidential election, or like if there's a city council race during a local race during a presidential election, your name could possibly be on the same ballot as the president.
Right.
So somebody voted for the president, local senator, so on, flipped it over, then city council, commissioner. So you get, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But you get jumbled in the power that you don't have. Yeah.
The level of expectation for that role is elevated when it's not. So what are some of the things that a city council person could implement? Like what is the value in that position that attracted you to it?
Policy and social policy.
Okay.
Like that's what they really can do. In reference to power, social influence. This is the fun thing. City council has more social capital than they do actually, being able to make an absolute decision. You need everything the city council does that you need an absolute decision requires 5 votes. You got to have 5 or 6 votes and so forth, so on, to be able to do it. The person of power, city manager. That's who makes absolute decisions now. That's who, like he can say, like the city manager can make a now decision. And if it has to be made now, then he can bring it to them later. But he manages the business of the city. So the two most powerful people, you would go with, like, if you go with power, you would probably go mayor, city manager, city attorney.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, so where does the city manager rank when it comes to like the mayor? They work together.
The city manager and the mayor are like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Gotcha. They work together. And you said the city attorney was the third?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they say you can't do it, you better not.
Right.
No, right. Like if the city manager says per bylaws, you can't, then don't.
Gotcha.
Like if they say, well, we want to fire this guy. Well, let me look at the contract. The city attorney, the attorney keeps you out of 2 things: jail and court. That's what the city attorney does. Makes sure the litigation and all that other stuff. Mostly the court, because cities get sued a lot, for various other things. And so, city council does have power on those other things and whatever, but policy making and things of that nature is more. Then they have like absolute power in one situation, and they're much more formidable together than they are like one person. If you get one city councilman that has an ideal, he needs support to make sure those things happen.
Gotcha. So would that be something you see yourself maybe pursuing again in the future?
Maybe. Okay. Maybe. City council, maybe. County commissioner, maybe. But what I understand,
and you know what? Let me while you get into that next thought, man. You know, you had posted years ago on Facebook, and you had posted about would y'all vote for me if I ran for maybe it was city council at the time, and I remember in the comments I put no, and it was only because I was immature at that time with my thinking, not really understanding who you was.
I don't think I was ready for that.
But still, but still, I should have backed you on that, you know. And I'm just speaking to where I was in my life, you know. I remember you posting that, and you was like, and you commented under my post. You was like, but why not? And I really didn't have a valid answer. Like, I really just know you for being Kurin that I know. I'm like, you, come on, man. We play all the time. Ain't no way you could be in a serious role that determines laws and things like that. But now I realize I was wrong, bro. You weren't wrong.
You weren't wrong. And here's why I say that. I hadn't showed you the side of me that looked like I was responsible enough for
there
the
we
job.
Go. Okay.
And so under what
I don't think I would have been mature enough to see it though.
Nah, you're like you've always been on top. Stop. You've always been eye level, been a leader of men. I can't even listen. I was the t-shirt man, king of controversy, jokes, comical. I could be all over the place. I could speak on civil issues of justice I would be that voice. But I wasn't consistent enough in the business world with my conversation to be taken seriously on the political level. So yeah, that I don't what what I gave off was not reflective of that.
Yeah. No, and I think the energy that you put out there on the internet now, bro, is much more of someone who, and I'm sure it's a combination of two things, just me being where I am in life now and striving in the world of entrepreneurship, or trying to strive in the world of entrepreneurship, understanding business a little better than I did. But your content has been amazing lately, bro. Like the messages that you post in front of your shop where you're like an inspirational speaker, a motivational speaker. You know, you speak a lot of life to people about situations they may be dealing with, or how to handle that. You speak about, you know, just business ideas. You give people heads up on things that's coming. The energy that you're putting out on social media now, bro, is amazing.
Thank you.
Where does that come from? Like, are you just in the season of your life? Because I know on the video you did, you spoke about retirement.
Right.
Are you just in a place of your life now where you want to, you know, inspire people, give game away to people, help elevate people? Is that where you are in life now?
Yes, but also, I've already fought the war. Like I
Hove did that,
so
hopefully you ain't got to go through that.
Like I bought my store. I own the dirt. I own my home. Like as a business owner, this t-shirt business has done everything that I own the dirt. I own my home. I got a decent car. Like, so it is, I have almost 200% value in my house, in my home, in equity. I've done it. Like, so for the things that I came for, like if you go to Cumberland County Tax Office, my name come up on property. I did it. And so now that I've done it, and I want to keep it, and I want to grow it. But I as my people, the scriptures say, my people fail because of lack of knowledge. It is for what Fayetteville has given me. The least I can do is give them a 2-minute video 2-3 times. The least. For every family that came in, it was 5 of them, put $100 together to spend $500, and I took that $500 and took $400 to pay my light bill. I owe them that. For every kid that came by and said, he printed shirts for my grandma, don't break his windows. Right. So I owe Fayetteville more than I could ever repay.
I love it.
So
love that,
and
bro.
it's so many people, it's too many to name that I've had the opportunity to serve, and their loved ones died, their children died, and they entrusted me to not only create something but bring it to life, so they have they have a tangible piece of somebody they're never going to see again. They're never going to see there again. So for me to have to them to say, Kurin, give me a memory that I can have forever, and they entrusted me with them. Man, that's one of the most
powerful, man.
Yeah, I owe them.
That's powerful.
So when people get to talking crazy, like, why are you doing what? I owe that. The guy that walked by, that just got out of jail, he got the little thing on his bracelet, and this July, here, get you some water. Like I talk to everybody because there were other brothers like Mr. Pemberton on the insurance company. He used to pull me aside for nothing. Pouring into me. Floyd Shorter, pull me aside. It's so many that poured into me. Stop by. Hey, Kurin, you do it. So forth. I thought about you here. My family got a family reunion. And that may be the day that the rent due, bills due, so forth. So there's so many. So for me, I say my city coming with me because the city built me. Like this is, I never, right. I'm from Camden, but if I go somewhere,
raised you.
Right, I got a tattoo out here that says Camden made, Fayetteville raised. And so my first car, first girlfriend, and so I know all 11 major arteries in the street. I remember when Hope Mills was dangerous for black men to drive there at night. We remember that. We remember pre-Jack Brick. Or Mingles. You remember Mingles?
That was a spot.
That was a spot.
Yeah.
When we was too young to get into the red rope.
Right.
Listen.
Right.
Switching lanes.
Okay.
Do you remember when we was finally old enough to get in the Chiefs?
Listen, I miss Chiefs, bro. Somebody need to listen. One of you party promoters, you business owners, bring back a Chiefs style club for people 40 and up, 35 and up, 30 and up. I don't care. That cook fresh chicken outside.
And fish.
And shrimp and greens and all these. We need that. The city is starving for that.
I'm going to tell you the funny play was, when I got old enough to go to Chiefs, you couldn't tell. I went in, I was so disappointed. Chiefs is the sign. I was like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
This was the line wrapped around the court. Then I got some of the food. I was able to buy drinks. It was great. It was great.
Something people may not know about you, a lot of the newer followers that you may have, but you're an author. You've written 2 books, and correct me if I'm wrong. 2 books, the Black Man's Guide on How to Cheat on Your Woman, 29 Ways Men Cheat, Sit Your Independent Ass Down. You've directed your own movies.
Right.
This Ish Don't Work in Marriage.
Ish Don't Work in Marriage, right.
And the $100 Love Letter to Black Women.
Right.
Bro, you've lived a life that 10 men haven't lived, bro. You've written books. You've had a business that have been productive in your community for 25 years. You filmed your own movies. Man, you've just done so much, bro. Talk about the books and how that affected you. Talk about the movies and your thought behind this. Let me ask you though, just before you get into it, the books, just based on the title of the books, they had to cause some problems for you, which I'm pretty sure drew interest for the books as well.
Not really.
They didn't really. So you telling me
the Black Man's Guide on
the Black Man's Guide to Cheat? You was on some talk shows for that.
A lot of them.
Come on, man, talk about it. Why did you even decide to go that way with those names? Was it to generate traffic?
Right. So the first name of the book was going to be The Pros and Cons of Infidelity.
Okay.
That was going to be the first name of the book.
So why'd you decide not to go with that?
The publisher told me the name was weak. A publisher was like, that ain't gonna sell.
You needed something
edgy.
more.
And so we left, and I talked to my homeboy, and he was like, man, you need something edgy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? We gave him a couple names. I was like, yeah, the black man's got on cheating on your woman. And I laughed it off.
He was like, yo, that's it.
That's it.
That's the one.
And so, I came out the books. Miss Spigner, Miss Barbara Spigner.
Excuse me.
She, her daughter, vested in the book.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry. What was that?
Barbara Spigner.
Okay.
Listen, that's big. That's big auntie right there.
Okay.
Love her so much. Like, I copied everything in her business book. I copied her house, her style, so forth and so on. Don't even worry about it, auntie. I ain't got no lake by my house, but I'm gonna have me a pond by my house. Like Barbara Spigner, big shout out, Crystal, her family. That's another. She sowed a seed into me, and forever grateful. Like her knowledge, like she's home run ball with knowledge. It's like, imagine with Miss Spigner, it's more like Jordan, 86, going to talk to Dr. J.
Somebody had been there, done that.
They built the league off Dr. J's back. They built the league off of him.
For sure.
Right. So I said that to say, I went to somebody that was, she had a flat screen, like a 72-inch flat screen mounted on the wall in the early 2000s. Right. Like before.
That's a statement.
That's a statement. Like when they was $3-4 grand.
Yeah.
Right. She had an elevator in her house, and
She's still around here?
What?
I'm sorry. Pardon me.
She owned the football team.
Oh, the arena team.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Was that the lady that had the accent?
No,
or am I thinking about somebody else? Okay.
She is it.
Okay.
Well, she started off in mental health and mental health guru, and lasted when they shut the group homes down and stuff like that. Like when I say guru, business, brilliant, powerful. So, but back to the book. The book costs 93 cents a book, and that's why I got in the book business. Like selling the street for $10.
Yeah,
that was it.
Absolutely.
That it wasn't like, I wrote it tongue in cheek. I broke down some things. I sat in my homegirl's hair salon that was in Bronco Square, and I would listen to the ladies talk all day, and I took it in, wrote, and they would keep talking, and I wrote. Munchie, that was in Munchie's hair salon, and so the book got created because it was 93 cents, and I contacted the radio stations. I did trade deals with radio stations. I said, listen, if we do t-shirts for you, could we swap it out? They put us on the radio. We were in the mall. And then people came, and I was selling. I had a tote bag. It cost me 70 cents. I had 20 cents worth of ink on it. The tote bag cost me more. That's tote bag was like 50 cents. And 20 cents worth. This book cost me 95 cents. And the tote bag cost me
more than
about
the book.
75 cents almost.
Yeah.
And I would give them a free tote bag with the book, and I was selling the book for $15. Like when I did the Russ Parr interview, and I bought a commercial on Russ Parr. One commercial, and then because I was like, he got 70 channels and stuff like that. So
crazy.
But the commercial was $3,500, and I asked the sales guy, what would it take to get an interview with Russ Parr? He said, an act of God. He said, last person he interviewed was Janet Jackson. I said, well, can I send you snippets of the book? And he said, yeah. So I sent him some snippets. I'm driving downtown Fayetteville, coming down Gillespie, about to hit the Market House phone line. Hello, can I speak to Kurin? Yeah, this is Kurin. This is Russ Parr, the Russ Parr Morning Show, and I just got snippets of your book, and we would love to have you on our show.
Nice.
Can you do Thursday at this time at 7:30? Sure. And so I knew on the phone you can get chopped and screwed.
Right.
So I was in Landover, Maryland, 7 o'clock that morning.
Yeah. Oh, you showed up at the studio. Oh, my this outside the box thinking.
We're gonna see how they chop and screw this.
Outside the box thinking.
And a 1-minute commercial wind up trying to transition into a 13-minute radio
interview.
interview.
Wow.
And from there, I got a publicist. I got Zane. Right. Listen,
Bro,
right.
you
Listen.
so inspiring, man. Just so you drove up to Maryland. And, bro, most people would have been happy with the phone interview, but you thought outside the box. That's what I'm saying, man. Like you have such a you have such a vision, excuse me, for things that you do that is just so outside of what normal people think, man. That's why I salute you, bro, because I've sat down with you and you've given me game on my business and just told me like, you should think about doing this, think about doing this, read that, read this. You are so well rounded in this field, bro. Like that's why I had to have you on, man, because I feel like the game that you give me in private, I wanted you to speak to the people about, man. And I know you talk to other people the same way you talk to me in private.
I think the biggest thing is that I would just tell people, be okay falling on your face. Get used to it, because that's how your hands get gritty. You'll never you'll you. My hands are indicative of I fell a lot. I fell a whole lot, and once I wasn't afraid to fall. It made it easier to jump,
Mm.
and so I just kept trying and kept trying and kept trying. And um giving up is so much harder than trying to me. I don't know how to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was an order, I was supposed to get out, and I had to get it out. I was like, nah, I'll just come back in the morning. But my hands kept moving. I'll just finish it tomorrow. But my hands kept moving. My brain is telling me, Kurin, go home. I'm still printing. I'm pressing.
You probably wouldn't have even been able to rest well once you got home because
I could not leave.
Yeah,
exactly. My body says, my core was already. I'm printing. I'm printing. I'm at shirt 27. I got to get to shirt 100. Shirt 60, and I should go and finish this tomorrow. Shirt 70.
Just go ahead and knock it out.
The doubt in my mind didn't stop, but my hands didn't stop.
I mean, that just speaks to you didn't allow procrastination to overcome you, bro. Because you could have easily put that off till in the morning. But that's what makes you who you are.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Like it's procrastination has hurt me more than it's ever helped me.
Mm-hmm.
And not facing things has hurt me more than it's ever helped me. Mm-hmm. And so when I get the mail in, I open it. Like my ritual, I don't care what bill it is. It's late, it's past it. Every piece of mail gets opened. I never want to be not in the know. I want to know what's going on. I open it immediately. I face it, deal with them. Nah, I'm not going to get it. Nah. We're going to deal with this right now.
That's dope, man.
And so, you know who told me that? Dr. Reggie Baker. He used to be here. He was like, open the mail, pay the bill. He said, if you don't have the money right there, make a plan right then and there to pay the bill. Right. How am I going to pay this bill?
Right.
And you put it in front of your mind. Open the mail, pay the bill. Open the mail, pay the bill. And that's all when I get the mail, even if I'm late, but all right, boom. I log on, payment arrangement. All right, so I got this bill behind. It's due on the 1st. It's the 15th. Payment arrangement. You're going to pay about the 30th.
But that's so powerful in what you're saying, man. You telling the people, I saw something that said, procrastination is the cousin to poverty.
Facts.
And what you're saying, it just kind of echoes that. Like the more you procrastinate, the closer you get into poverty.
You know how close poverty is tied to bad health? If you look at the data, and the guy,
I know it's attached to stress.
John Bryant, the guy John Bryant, he speaks on that. He says, if you look in the neighborhoods with below 600 credit scores, you'll find the worst eating habits, high blood pressure, hypertension, and diabetes, and all of that other stuff. He said poverty is a direct connection to bad health. And so it's I can't live there, so I have to go. I have to get it done. I have to, it's just that Tony Stark emblem in the middle of you that glows, that pushes you forward.
No, that's super dope, man. Super dope. Do you have any desires to get married again?
No. I'll never be in another relationship. Not like I may have something casual.
Why is that?
But I never be married.
And never is a strong word, though,
never,
man.
Never.
Because you might meet that one tomorrow that totally changed that, man.
It never happened.
Be careful with that never, man.
I don't want any more children, and I don't need a woman for my wealth package.
Okay. So what's your thinking behind that? Like, just not wanting to be in another relationship.
With my upbringing and my parental background, my what I've been put, I genuinely don't have a skill set. I've tried it. And so my track record is indicative of this ain't for you. When it comes to relationships, there's a certain level of patience and suffering and just forgiveness that you have that I don't have. Like I only have one door. If I open up and I get hurt, I gave so much of my life up front for some of the things in my family. That I don't, for things that my mother didn't get right, and she's not at fault. It's not a bad thing, but I gave so much of in the first part of my life for a woman, and it was never reciprocated. So I don't have nothing to give now. And I thought I did. I tried relationship after relationship, kids, so forth and so on. I really tried, and I thought I could, but I don't. Where men have that suffering, and it's work, and it's work, and it's work. I don't have it in me to go give 822Ts work, and give my kids work, and then come give it in a relationship. I don't have it, and I wish I knew I didn't have it years ago, because I'd have made some different decisions. And I'm grateful for all my children. None of them are mistakes. I'm grateful for, but like when the sister spoke on Cam Newton having the broken homes and stuff like that, that is a reality that I have to face. My children have not got up and been able to walk through the house with daddy's shoes or see the authority over man and stuff like that. And so I am not casual or blind to the fact that I've created some single homes, even in the multiple marriages and all that other stuff. And so I just, like, I got a vasectomy. I don't want no more kids. I'm never going to be in a relationship again. I'm never getting married again. Maybe something casual, something cool, lightweight, good company, but it's reference to, oh my God, I'm in love, or she's the one, or this is my.
I get it, and I get what you're saying, and I'm not trying to talk you out of it, man. But we're not getting no old. I mean, we're not getting no younger, man. Right. We getting older.
Right.
You may need somebody to take care of you at some point. Whether it be to take you to a doctor's appointment or just help you through some things.
That's what disability insurance is for. I mean, that's what I mean. Like I have enough children, family, and friends that where I'll never like. What about if she gets sick? I don't want to be suffering a relationship for 30 years just to say she was there for me. She gave me that cup of water.
I'm with you on that.
And so I don't have good relationship skills, and I'm too busy building my wealth package to put the work in relationship skills, because I don't respect the reward of a relationship. I don't value it. It doesn't have, and I'm not saying it's not valuable. At my core, I don't see its value. Like people say, oh, it's for the family, and the family's this, the family that. Man, listen, man. I don't have that in me. I gave it already. Like I don't have a memory. I remember one Christmas. I don't remember hugs as a kid. I don't remember a birthday celebration. I don't ever remember having a birthday cake or where all of these family moments, Thanksgiving. Like I remember us having to go to other people's house, but I don't have. That's not my experience.
Yeah.
All of my greatest experiences are at my business. I'm valuable because I can produce a good. I don't have anybody in this world that can say I love you just because of you. Nobody. My dad.
Yeah.
But it's different. I don't have nobody that on my hard days that just says, I remember when you learned to walk, I love you. Maybe my aunt Darlene, she goes back to when I was 2. That's
your elders.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as like that core,
the romantic aspect.
The first relationship, my first relationship with my first love is flawed. And with that being my foundation, I understand there's some things that I'm just missing.
I mean, that's a real mature perspective, and it's high level self reflection on
I
your
don't want to hurt
part.
nobody else.
Yeah, no, that's
because
dope, and I think women that are watching this will respect that.
No, they won't. They're gonna say, "Girl, there's somebody gonna say they can fix me." Somebody like stop. Somebody gonna say, "Girl, somebody he can," and I'm like, I don't even put myself in those situations anymore because I've tried.
Mm-hmm.
And on situations to where.
So do you run from?
I'm intolerant. Like I got in a regular relationship argument, my abandonment issues are so big that if a woman looks like she's leaving, I pack her bags and walk her to the door. And I'm unforgiving.
Right.
If you like, I have triggers that are deal breakers, that are all out. Well, I've been told, Kurin, I gave you children. Listen, you dance on these triggers, you could be holding Jesus' hand. It takes me back too far to a point where I was helpless, I was homeless, and I couldn't do anything about it. And I'd rather die than go back to the point to being that helpless 11, 12-year-old boy. And I'm never going back there. What I put in place, I'm never going back there. But the level of desperation that you have to fight in a relationship, I don't have that fight. Because for me, I just say, it's an amazing experience for a woman to sleep in your back and you wake up together and you pray and you go together, you eat together. All those things are apt walking through the park together. All of those things are amazing. I can turn my fan on, put that weighted blanket on, put my weighted blanket on, sleep good. I can take a walk by myself. I can cook my own food. I'm okay walking with my favorite headphones on. I have friends. I have a group of people around me that are absolutely amazing. And I know that as beautiful as a relationship is, as beautiful as Black love is, there's a skill set of 1 through 10 that you need.
That you don't.
I got about 1 through 7.
Gotcha.
And
I don't think nobody has it all figured out, man.
I think a man that has a better relationship with his mama is better suited to love a woman. It's sometimes the man that don't have that is the best man ever. And then sometimes
it goes the other way.
It goes the other way. And so I've searched for love, and I've searched for it, and I want it. And my picture of where I see a relationship and love is unrealistic, because the only view of matriarch in my family is made up in my head. So the expectations of this woman are unrealistic. It's like when women don't have fathers in their lives. This is what a man should be, and this is what a man should be. And when I see them women, I be like,
well, how'd you come to that?
No.
Oh,
I like, baby, I get it. I say, baby, I get it, because I have the same thing. A man should be, when you ever hear a woman with because a woman with a father don't say that.
Yeah, no, she's more grounded in
her. She don't even tell you what her expectations are. She gonna say, hey, that don't work for me. And she gonna she gonna move different. My daughters move different. My daughters are very intolerant. They know they got a daddy they can call. My daddy. They were my daddy from the oldest to the youngest. My daddy to death. They have me. But when I see those sisters like that, I said, I get it. Because in my mind, I want a Claire Huxtable, I want a T-Boz, I want a this, and I want her to, go to work, come home, cook, and all that stuff is unrealistic.
Yeah, all these attributes you've seen in different people.
It's totally unrealistic. And so now that I'm self-aware to say that's selfish, it's unrealistic, it does not exist. My best relationships with females are my friends. Because I have a realistic...
There's no expectation.
Yeah, I have a realistic expectation of them. I see their flaws. I see who they are. We laugh. Like my homegirl, my dog, Precious, Michaela, Courtney, Naya, who's married now. And I've seen them as my friends.
For sure.
And in my close circle, and they've seen me go through. And so the expectation is different.
Females be the realest friends too, man. Especially if you don't start.
Right. I'm talking about good, solid.
No,
friends.
For sure. No, I'm with you on that 100%. But I respect it, man. I respect your perspective. I think that's very mature of you to know where you are and not to want to waste anybody's time.
I will hurt. Like, I know that I have broken hearts and probably sold the fantasy inadvertently, because the way I love in the beginning looks like, regardless of what you do, I'm staying. But that's not it. Like the way I love in the beginning is like, listen, don't hurt me.
Right.
Like the way I love in the beginning is like, please don't hurt me. I can't take it.
As soon as you jump on that one trigger, it's all gonna change.
Yeah, like you know, I can't handle. I know one way to deal with aggression, and that's the level how men deal with aggression. And so combative women scare me.
They scare most.
Yeah, only because I'm not afraid of her. I'm afraid on the wrong day you can bring the worst out of me.
Of course.
And so I was like, you know, it makes me afraid, because on my worst day I may not have that buffer.
Man, a combative woman can be your worst enemy, bro. Right. So she could be harder than anything you dealt with during the course of your day.
And here's the fun part.
Yeah.
They don't even mean to be that way.
No. They don't see themselves as that.
They broken like I'm broken.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And so when you, like my homegirls that were combative, I had to tap her. I said, bruh, I said, I'm not going to hurt you. Stop. I'm not going to. I said, you don't have to be that with me. Because they coming from a broken place.
Yeah.
They're not combative because, oh, I just want to be combative. And they're combative because heartbroken, disappointed, going through some stuff, so forth.
Or the way they were raised.
Where they were raised, you know.
They saw their mama do this. So that's all they know. Yep.
Right. Yep. So now, as far as relationships now, to say never is a lot, but I just don't see myself.
I mean, that's where you are in this season, man. And that's all we can base our future on, is where we are now. The things that we want today is what we see for ourselves. But in 5 years, life changes. We may not necessarily want those same things, or don't want those things.
I don't want the energy. See, now where I'm transitioning to is that I would just rather, all the time and energy that I would put in a relationship, I just rather put it in my kids. Like all the time, or anything that I got going on from this side, I would just rather put it in my kids, be cool, you know, go out of town, meet some new people, have a good time and things of that nature, all surface level. But I don't want to open up anymore. Like, I just don't like that part of, I used to think it was weird when the old women say she put her sugar on the shelf. You know, and we've heard women say that. And, but I understand, man, like it ain't even like the classic story, ain't no good women. There's plenty of good women. There's plenty of good people,
sure.
plenty of positives. If you ask me Kurin, would you rather cultivate a relationship with a woman or plant your roses in the garden? I would plant my roses because I know that's a guaranteed result. Kurin, would you rather spend 6 hours binge watching movies with this woman, or would you rather take a walk with your kids or take a walk by yourself? I'm just, the end results of my romantic interest have never produced anything sustainable. And whether it was 90% my fault or 1% my fault, I still played a part in that.
For sure.
And so,
yeah, this ain't no blame on anybody.
Right. No.
This is more of a reflection of where you are.
Right. And so, I think now, when you go from heartbreak, because heartbreak makes you angry, and then you either become the fitness nigga or the drinking nigga or the working nigga, but you gonna find something to put your.
You're gonna find a vice.
You're gonna find a vice. And so now it's like, God, I don't want a vice. I just want to heal. And I want to heal right. And so for me now, it's not even like, oh, Kurin, you're so mature. No, man, I got a bunch of losses doing it this way. Yeah. Like that don't work.
Yeah.
And so I'm open for friends. Like, I got my friends and I got my circle, but I ain't even hunting. I enjoy watching my homeboys hunt. Kurin, man, let's do it.
Because you've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I watch them hunt. I hear their stories, and my phone dry. And
it's peace in that,
peace
though.
in that.
It's peace in that, bro.
Peace in that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I ain't gotta, if my kids might want to bring the kids by, I ain't gotta, this my other person. Come on by, come in. Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's real. And so now I'm just in a place where it's just like, Black women are still beautiful. Black women are still excellent. Black women are still phenomenal. I'm not like, I hate none of it. It's just that when it comes to the permanence and the work that comes into love, I don't have the value system to put that kind of work into.
I get it.
And I think it's beautiful. Like when I see other people, like, in love, I'm like, yo, that's beautiful. Like when I see the brother, hit the altar, clean.
We all love love.
His homeboy behind him. He crying.
The whole crew.
And they tough. They tough men.
Yeah. They happy for their dog.
Happy for him and so forth. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. I love weddings.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you like getting dressed up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Who fired? Keon in the room.
Right.
So and then when you at the wedding, chick's like, yo, who's your friend? He worked out, he trained. So I see relationships and marriage for me like my vasectomy. I closed the chapter.
I think what you're speaking on is something that Pastor Keon said on the Cam Newton show that that I've been trying to be more aware of for myself. He said, I choose discipline because I don't want to deal with regret. And and what you're saying is I'm choosing discipline because I don't want to deal with regret.
Keon, do you know I'm soft as medicated cotton? Like when I say like I'm not like like people see the King controversy, he got it all together forever. Listen, in a relationship, I want Eskimo kisses. Make love face first with the lights on. I want the both of you wake up, stick it to the seat, sex funky. I want to wake up every day, look at her little flat feet, watch her walk to the bathroom, so forth and so on. Walk by the bathroom in love, but like, baby, your pea steak, you need to drink more water. Like all of, and she's like, we had asparagus last night. Shut up. Like, I think all of those things are beautiful. The holding of the hands and like when you ride in a car and you put Hov and B on.
Y'all sing each other apart. But I definitely think where you are is a form of protection for yourself.
And I don't want to hurt.
And for others too, maybe. It's protection. Maybe against you and for you.
My level of unforgiveness, my inability to forgive. And if I knew that, I would have never gone into relationships because I have a certain level of forgiveness and I run out. Versus that we're in a relationship, unless it's an egregious offense. But for me, I just, my heart can't take it.
Nah.
Just being man to man.
Yeah, no, I respect that.
If my heart gets broke, then Rome must burn.
I got you.
I'm not a good guy if my feelings are hurt.
I understand.
Like, and I don't ask a lot of questions. Listen, you run for the hills.
Yeah. And I think that's tough in a relationship, especially, when you consider as the men, we're supposed to be led by God.
Right.
And we're supposed to love our family with the love that God has for us. And God's love is very forgiving. And if that ain't where you at,
is that your example, God's love?
I think God's love is very forgiving.
All right. So what happened to them niggas that was fucking with Noah?
Did they ask God for forgiveness?
No, you said
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying. I'm being talking to you, church kid.
Yeah. I think if your partner comes to you and say, "Baby, I've faulted you and the relationship. Please forgive me."
I think that's asking a lot of a woman to be that mature when she feels like she's been done wrong as well. That's asking too much of anybody.
I got you,
And so,
but that's why we gotta not fuck up, right?
but
Which
no, I
is
mean,
hard for us to do.
but the fuck up can be not being emotionally supportive. I'm not talking about egregious violations of trust.
Okay, I got you.
I'm talking about the regular relationship rigmarole that I don't have. I don't have the bandwidth for.
I got you.
Because what happens is that I'm arguing with this person while I'm at work. Like I'm trying to.
Now your whole day.
Yeah. And if I have to give a woman an hour of my work day and I am disgusted with her on a level that she don't even know.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you pulling me from my hustle. You pulling like, and so, and a woman is not going to, her emotions don't shut down because the clock say 9:01.
Yeah. Not at
and
all.
it don't cut back on when the clock says 5:01.
Yeah.
All I knew in a relationship with a man is you provide for your family, make love to your woman, provide for the kids, don't put your hands on her. And that's pretty much all I knew to do. If you ain't cheating or beating on her, you provide for the kids, you laying it down in the bedroom, you keeping her happy, you're doing with her, then you should be good. That is a formula that's like 40 years old.
Yeah.
But that's what we came up on.
That exactly.
You know, now in relationships, you're required to communicate. You're required to be understanding. You got to understand that a working woman has different stress. That where at her job, she may lead all day and then she got to come home and be a partner. And I don't use the word submissive, but if she's a leader all day and then she has to come home to be a partner, that may take some time.
Yeah.
It may take her some adjustment time. And then if he leads all day and then he has to come home and be a partner. Because I don't even like that word. A woman submits. So I think under the terms of where it was written, people manipulate it because
they made it an ugly thing.
Right. Yeah. Right. Because if wives submit to your husbands, then you gotta love that wife like Christ loved the church. And he died for the church. So you can't say submit, but I won't sacrifice nothing. You know, so right. So those are the things that a lot of men missing that. And I think in the partnership, we have to be understanding, and sometimes with women of power, sometimes many of us are just not equipped with that skill set to be as understanding as they need us.
Yeah, for sure. I can agree with that, man. We were raised with old examples of how to treat. I think for me, what really changed my perspective on, you know, and I'm still a work in progress. I don't have it figured out. How to love women better was having my daughter. You know, having a daughter changed my thinking of handling women. You know, because you have to be gentle with your daughter. You have to be a listener. You can't tell your daughter, baby, I don't want to hear this. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't, you have to be a listener. You have to be gentle. You have to be soft in your responses because she's your daughter.
Now, you know what
and women are very similar in how you want to handle them.
Mine did
as far as partnership.
Mine did the reverse to me.
Oh, why is that?
Because everything that I had for a woman, I dumped it in my daughters. I didn't have nothing else because I felt like this is the safe place. These are my babies.
Yeah.
These are my girls. I can whatever they need in love, I can give them everything. Gotcha. I can Eskimo kisses, hold their hands in my face, moments, so forth and so on. If they have moments where they don't like me, I don't care because they still my babies. I ain't talking about that. I don't care. I still love you. So the level of infinite forgiveness that I have is just for them. Hard part, and this is where I failed their mothers miserably. Imagine giving him the daughter, and you watch him be infinitely unforgiving, patient, and loving. And then the vessel that brought the baby here,
very short-tempered,
does not get a tenth of that. And so I have inadvertently slighted that woman because I valued the version that she produced that looked like me. And so I had to, and I learned that in therapy, that I have valued the fruit over the tree. And, you know, I've always been very apologetic about it. Like, hey, I missed it. Regardless of, and I've had my kid's mom, she was like, well, regardless of what I do, I'm still the kid's mother. I said, listen, If you put you do something, put your head in the chopping block, you can be holding Jesus' hand and he got to go. Mm-hmm. Why are you so tit for tat? Why you do tat? But your daughter can do rah, and your daughter do it. And so for me, I couldn't hear her.
Right.
But in therapy, it said, Kurin, she's watching you love a piece of you and her. Mm-hmm. Unconditionally. So she knows it's in you. Mm-hmm. But you are fire and brimstone. So when the baby gets it wrong, it's, come here. Let me teach you. Let me be patient. She's watching you. Hold her hand. Wash her feet. Mm-hmm. Be there for her. Make sure she's okay. Make sure she's safe. Protect her. Guide her. Lead her. Cover her. Mm-hmm. And you have...
She ain't getting none of that.
And so, man, that's been my greatest... I love the children with no... unconditionally, with no true skill set on how to love a woman the same way.
I think the reward is greater in feeling like in pouring the love into your children than in a partner.
I think I'm gonna take it. I agree with you, but I think I'm gonna go a step further. You don't mind being an empty vessel for your children.
Yeah, no, I
like if I got to empty it all out
for somebody. This is
and if nothing comes back,
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
but from adults,
that's good.
We explain. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
we're a partnership. We're supposed to. I don't expect my child to be my partner.
No, that's good.
So it's tough.
Yeah,
and then I don't know how to be empty for my partner for a long period of time.
I think that's something we all struggle with, bro, because I definitely struggle with that. If I feel like it's one-sided for too long, I start to pull back myself.
What's your version of too long?
I mean, I don't necessarily have a time frame. Everybody is different. But if I feel like I'm doing more pouring than getting poured into, I'm like, hey, now I'm starting to count what I do for you versus what you do. And once it gets to that point where I'm counting my efforts versus yours.
What would you say your timeline is?
I don't know, man. It's different. It's different for everybody.
I'm at 3 to 5 business days. Like I said, it's longer
than that. Mine is longer than 3 to 5 business days.
Mine is like, listen,
maybe like 14.
Yeah, mine is like, listen, this is making like, and not that I can't deal with conflict, but if it get one-sided, like if they moving funny, I don't ask questions. Like I got a degree in sociology, which studies
y'all the worst.
Which understands the pattern, not
right.
Psychology. So
I get it.
Psychology is the study of what the brain thinks, and how, sociology is the study of human patterns.
Patterns, yeah.
So 17,000 cars pass my shop every day. Fayetteville has a population of about 208,000 people, and 25% of the population prior to COVID was transient every 4 years. So 25% of our entire population has grown. You look at the population of Hope Mills and Spring Lake, I think they grow about 10 to 13% every year. And then they had a mass growth prior to COVID, but you had some stay stills because people weren't deploying. All of that data, Cumberland County has a population of 300,000 people. All of that data, biggest, if you talk about the police department, the budget for the city is $250 million a year. Most of that is the police department. That's data and transit, the 11 major arteries. We have an incomplete artery with 295 because it ends at Cliffdale, but it does going northbound. You can actually get on North 95. All of that is data, sociology, understanding everything around you, the movement. So when it comes to you got macro and micro levels of that. When you comes to a relationship, and I'm somebody I'm next to, and the patterns change. I'm a one conversation guy. Hey, I don't know if you got work, kids, or another dude, but you moving funny. I'm uncomfortable. I don't care what you got to do, but if you want me to stay around, you want to still be connected, fix it. I don't require an explanation, but I'm not going to be uncomfortable long. I'm a one conversation nigga.
Cutthroat.
But it's not that I'm just some raw nigga. My feelings get hurt easy.
It's protection.
Right. So if I think you're going to hurt my feelings, I gotta get you away from me. Yeah. And then if you hit me, I gotta hit you back.
Yeah.
So I ain't in no relationship with somebody. You know, if you hit me, and not physically, but if I get hit,
I know you. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
this is what we was talking about, the combative woman.
All of us, listen. If you, I can deal with combative more than I can deal with abandonment and moving funny.
Okay.
Like if she just fussy, hey man, calm down. And most of the time they calm down, or I'll cut the conversation. Like, listen, boom. But the abandonment issues.
So you abandon before you get abandoned. So you jump ship before it happens to you.
No.
Okay.
I set the ship on fire because I can swim.
Same thing.
No. To jump ship means the ship was still in good tack when I left.
That's not good, Kurin.
I didn't tell you it was right. I didn't say it was healthy.
That's not good.
You want me to come on your show and lie?
Not at all. I appreciate you unpacking it, but you know, I can't just vibe with it. Like,
you hurt my feelings. Bottom of this ship to see how you get back. I'm sitting in the water waiting.
Right. Floating.
Right.
What you gonna do?
I told you not to hurt everybody. You ever heard the story of Jonah?
Yeah, Jonah in the well.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody on the ship with Jonah got wet because God wrestled the seas. Could you imagine?
Right.
That's my mindset.
Right.
Everybody on this ship, because Jonah hurt God's feelings, is gonna get wet. And I'm not saying I'm God, but
I get what you're saying.
That's why I had to pull away because there has to be room for grace in a relationship for somebody to kind of regroup and get some stuff like that. And I just, if it comes to, and I can deal with a lot. Like I'm not, women don't have to have a bunch of money, so forth, so on, like, or all those other things. Those are man characteristics. They're nice. But if she walks in her femininity, good woman, cool, she has a great career, entrepreneur, all those things are beautiful. I can't handle separation. Like if it get the moving funny or this is different. I'm not a go through the phone guy. I'm not a follow you guy. I'm gonna have one conversation. You normally do this, we do that, boom, boom, boom. This is moving funny. It may be your job. You could be having a long day. We can have this conversation. But it has to make sense. If you got another dude, that's cool. Put the shit on 2-player. Because fidelity is cool.
Yeah.
But if we gonna play the game, put the shit on 2-player.
Right.
I'm like
if fidelity is not cool.
Wrong guy.
But I get what you're saying. Don't make me feel the void because you're dealing with somebody else.
What maternal reference do I have?
Right. I got you.
So if she leaves, she leaves.
Right.
If another guy got you, then my thing is the pussy only mine when I'm in it.
Right.
And I heard a comedian say, from 85 South, he said, it's only my turn when it's my turn, and don't do nothing when it's not my turn to make me not want my turn.
Right.
That's a switch.
Yeah.
And so
that's real too.
If I go from I love you and Eskimo kisses and I want to be with you, and then you get the moving funny, and I'm like, yo, don't you're not gonna like the other guy.
Yeah.
You know what? I ain't nice like boss. So I said, man, please let me stay in love.
Yeah.
Let me stay here, because the other guy is survival, and I'm gonna survive.
Right.
I'm gonna make it. Like I'm not gonna lose this fight, and I'm gonna stay in as long as you struggling. If it's tit for tat, we'll be tit for tat till you get tired. Because I'm not gonna be tired. I'm okay cutting off my nose despite my face in those emotional spaces. And that is something I have to learn to be better at.
Right.
That is something that's just not healthy. And so that's why I say.
Yeah, I understand.
I can't.
I understand. And I think we're all, trying to grow in areas where we know we need to be better in. I feel like this life is a journey. I was telling Latrell, my son, and I'm like, man, when I was your age, I thought I had time to learn everything. But now I realize learning everything, especially about myself, is an ongoing process. It never stops. It never, you're never going to know who you completely are. I remember a former pastor of mine, he told me, he was like, man, me and my wife been married 20 years. And I'm still getting to know my wife.
Right. I've heard him say that every day. I learn something new.
Yeah, and it caught me off guard when he said that, because I was like, man, how could you be with one person for 20 years and not know them? And it took me some time, and now I completely understand what he's saying. We as individuals, we grow, we change, we change our thought processes when we're given new information.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just learning who we are in general based off of experiences that we have gone through. So life is constantly changing. We're constantly learning. I don't expect for you to be in this position you are with what we're talking about as far as relationship 5 years from now, because you may have new information. You may have discovered something about yourself that may have pulled you out of there. That's all life is.
I don't like. I'm really. I don't want it. Like in the sense of, not because it's not beautiful.
Yeah.
It's because it's so beautiful, and I don't have the skill set to facilitate it.
Well, like I said, in time you may gain those skills, man.
I ain't looking to work on it. So the level of it, because a workout is a workout. If you're having an emotional workout, you have to break the muscle down to build the muscle back up.
For sure.
That's being emotionally broken. Ain't a place I want to be.
I understand.
And to be able to learn how to love better, you got to go into some emotional broken places, and that's. I don't want to do that anymore. It's just for the results of it. So the cost benefit analysis, because I have a business brain, to go in there, open it up, fix it, deal with the pain, go through that, so forth and so on, and then get in a relationship and then it not work.
Very draining. It's very draining.
Or I can go put that same energy, save up my money, go buy a building, put another business in it. If the business don't work, put a renter in there, and if that don't work, put a for sale sign on the building, and recoup all my loss, and recoup everything I put in.
Yeah.
So even
and more, maybe.
Right. Even worst case scenario, if it catches on fire, I won.
Yeah.
And then it came back new, value goes up, and now we're doing it again. So I wish I had it.
I got you.
I wish I knew how to cultivate it. And I know it's beautiful. But I think relationships are like diamonds. You got to go in the mine and go get it. I can just not wear jewelry. Yeah. So there's a level of work. Like there's a diamond in that mine. It's beautiful. It's worth it. You got to go way down deep in the mine. You got to have this mask on. The mine may crash on you. It's all, but or you could just not wear jewelry.
Yeah.
And when you see somebody, I'm like, oh man, that's beautiful, man. Do you know what I had to go to get it? No, I don't. I want you to beautifully have that.
Yeah. Right. That's all you.
That's all you.
Well, we could go on and on and on. But I gotta bring us to a close, man. But before we get out of here, man, is there anything you're working on right now that you want the people to be on the lookout? You got any new books or anything coming out?
I'm working on me.
Okay.
And so I was telling somebody the other day, and this is something good that you can get to the people. 720, 770, 750. Those are the 3 credit scores ideal that I want. 720, 777. And that's what I have locked in my mind. I have decent enough credit to buy a vehicle, get other things that I have now. But what people of color don't know is that you can buy a house with a 620 or 685.
Sure.
But the rate that you bought that house with, people don't understand, you have to buy your rate. And that's in your paperwork. So when you have a 620 and you get an FHA, then you bought the rate, but it costs you $20,000 to buy the rate. Ideal credit, like superb credit, 740 and above. So when you're at a 740, the buy rate, let's say if somebody with a 685, their buy rate may be, and I'm going with numbers, depending on the cost of the house, it's 10,000. If you got a 740 buying that same house, your buy rate may be 4. The better the credit, the cheaper it is for you to buy that rate, because you're buying the rate from the bank based upon that day's interest rate.
Right.
That you got to right then and there. And so if it takes you a month, no, they bought the rate. So just in understanding the difference in that, the difference in the interest charge, the difference between a HELOC and a cash out refi. Cash out refis are great if you're going to take all the money out and put a renter in the house and then make them pay for it. HELOC is good if you're hustling or however you want to move your money or whatever. But those are the things that I'm working on individually because I owe so little on my properties. And so I got them at good prices and then the market skyrocketed. So could I access the HELOC now? Probably. But at what rate? And so it's not what I can get, it's the how I can get it. Can I get this truck? Yeah, but the interest rate to 8%. Nah, I'll wait. Let my credit get up. I want that interest rate to be like the 3.9.
Right.
Or whatever prime rate. I think the lowest you can get is like 5 or 6 now. Whatever I'm not sure what the rates are. So somebody sees this, don't hold me to it and be like, oh, Kurin said that.
Right.
But whatever the lowest rate is now to buy a new car, that's what I want. And so those are things that the individual disciplines to make sure that my bills are paid on time. Not just paid on time, paid early. Lock into that. My diet, going to the gym 5 days a week, making sure those things. And so the individual build of me and my disciplines in my personal life are reflective in our financials. Because people
they're all tied together.
Right? What?
Yeah.
It's discipline.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it's kind of hard to find somebody that's in shape and meal preps that don't pay their bills on time. The level of discipline will leak on everything. It's kind of hard to find somebody that work out that's in shape, that's late. The nature of their day, they can't afford the meals. The meals got to be right for the results that they want. And so that's what I'm working on now.
Dope.
So fish, chicken, making sure my brain tight, cleaning up those areas, working on my insecurities, working on some things on why I'm insufficient at, being more honest and in the honesty levels of if it takes me 30 minutes to get there, tell somebody it took me 30 minutes to get there. Just small cleanup things of being of just being an honorable man. My greatest mentor now, Lynn Vick, she says, Kurin, that's what you want. You want to be an honorable man.
Is that Michelle's mom?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's
she the GOAT.
Yeah, she's amazing.
If I'm Neo from the Matrix, she's the Oracle.
Yeah.
Right.
She's the Shout out to Michelle Taylor and her mom.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So she gave me the keys to generational wealth. So if I had to end this saying, that's what I'm working on, my disciplines. And there are 2 people that are specifically tied to the Keys family building generational wealth. And that's Derek MacArthur and Lynn Vick.
I know both of them. Good people.
Right. Those are the 2 people that where if I had to say who helped you get there, them 2. Like they helped me not just get there but stay there.
Yeah.
So whatever they need, it'll happen.
Yeah, no doubt. But listen, thank y'all for staying tuned with another episode of the Suited to Serve podcast with my guest, the founder, the owner, the CEO. We print tees. Check him out on Facebook, Kurin Keys. Check him out on Instagram, Kurin Keys. Same thing. This man has so much knowledge, so much game that he gives away for free, just about life perspectives. If you don't learn from him, that says more about you than it does him. But we appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode.